Halo semuanya, kembali lagi bersama saya di Impas Podcast. Kali ini saya akan membawakan ceritanya menggunakan bahasa Inggris, menggunakan AI. Beginilah alur ceritanya.
In the heart of a forgotten carnival, where the wind whispered secrets through the torn tents and the scent of decay hung thick, a dark room awaited. This room was never meant to exist, hidden behind layers of tattered curtains and faded posters of long-forgotten performers. Yet here it was, shrouded in silence, waiting. Martha stumbled through the narrow, pitch-black corridor, her flashlight flickering. Every step she took echoed, swallowed by the darkness. Her friends had dared her to enter the old carnival grounds at midnight, a test of courage. But now, alone, she wished she had never agreed. A faint giggle floated through the darkness, high-pitched and distorted. Martha froze, her breath catching. "Who's there?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Silence. The flashlight flickered again, and for a brief second, the beam landed on something, an old, dust-caked mirror. In its reflection, a twisted face stared back at her, a wide, painted smile stretching across white, cracked skin, and eyes that seemed to bore into her soul. But when she spun around, there was nothing. Her breathing quickened. "It's just an old carnival. Nothing here. Just old props. Just." The giggle returned, closer this time. A cold sweat broke on her forehead. She turned to run, but the darkness seemed to press in from all sides. Her flashlight died. Martha's scream was swallowed by the shadows. The next morning, her friends returned, laughing, expecting to find her hiding, ready to jump out. But the laughter died when they found only her flashlight, crushed, and a single red balloon drifting up toward the gray sky. They never saw Martha again. But the carnival remained. The town whispered of it, of the Harlequin, a sinister clown whose laughter echoed in the darkness, whose shadow stretched farther than any light could chase. And those who entered the dark room were never seen again. Yet every year, on the anniversary of Martha's disappearance, a red balloon would float through the town, and a faint giggle would ride the wind. Chapter 1. The Dare. 5 years had passed since Martha's disappearance, but the story of the haunted carnival had become a whispered legend among the townsfolk. Kids dared each other to go near it, teens shared stories of ghostly sightings, but none dared to enter, until tonight. Tommy, Claire, Josh, and Lisa stood outside the rusting gates, a chilling breeze brushing against them. "It's just a story," Tommy said, trying to hide the tremor in his voice. "But if anyone wants to back out." "We're not backing out," Claire snapped, her flashlight already on. "We go in, take a picture, and get out. Easy." Josh laughed nervously. "Easy, she says." The gates creaked as they pushed them open, and the darkness swallowed them. Inside, the air was heavy, the silence oppressive. Faded tents loomed like giant, hunched figures, and the distant echo of something like laughter seemed to dance on the wind. "Stick together," Lisa whispered, clutching Tommy's arm. "This place gives me the creeps." But they wouldn't stick together for long. As they ventured deeper, the darkness seemed to thicken, twisting corridors of forgotten stalls and crumbling rides winding endlessly. And then, one by one, they began to disappear. Claire's scream was the first to pierce the air. Tommy turned, but she was gone, only her flashlight spinning on the ground. "Claire!" he shouted, his voice swallowed by the dark. Josh was next, dragged into the shadows, his cries fading to nothing. Lisa clung to Tommy, tears streaming down her face. "We need to get out." But the darkness had other plans. In the distance, a red balloon floated towards them, and beneath it, A soft, chilling giggle. Chapter 2. Shadows and Laughter. Tommy's heartbeat pounded in his ears. Lisa's grip was like a vice on his arm. "Run!" he yelled, but the darkness seemed to shift, blocking their path. A light flickered to life ahead, a pale, sickly glow. And in it stood the Harlequin, tall and hunched, his face a grotesque mask of cracking paint, his wide smile never wavering. His laughter filled the air, twisted and echoing. "Lisa, go!" Tommy shoved her, and she stumbled forward, breaking into a sprint. But even as she ran, the giggling seemed to follow her, closer with each step. Tommy turned to face the Harlequin. "Stay away!" he shouted, grabbing a broken metal rod from the ground. The Harlequin's laughter stopped. Silence. Then, in a blur, it lunged. Tommy's scream echoed, cut short. Lisa ran, the maze of darkness twisting around her. But there was no escape. A red balloon floated past her, brushing her face. She turned, and the painted smile was inches away. Darkness claimed her. Chapter 3. The Investigation. The disappearance of Tommy, Claire, Josh, and Lisa shocked the town. Sheriff Maynard, a grizzled veteran of the force, was tasked with investigating. His team searched the carnival but found nothing except the same eerie silence and the faint scent of decay. Maynard had heard the stories. He didn't believe in ghosts, but something about the carnival felt wrong. "Close it off. No one goes in," he ordered. But that night, as Maynard drove home, a red balloon floated across the road, and in his rearview mirror, he thought he saw a painted smile. The nightmares began. Chapter 4. The Haunting Evidence. Maynard's sleep was shattered by screams in his dreams, twisted faces, laughter that gnawed at his sanity. But the worst was the feeling of being watched. In desperation, he called in local historian Evelyn Grant, hoping for a logical explanation. But Evelyn's research revealed something darker. The carnival was run by a traveling troupe decades ago. The Harlequin was their main act, until the murders began. Children vanished, bloodstains appeared on the walls. The troupe fled, but the Harlequin, they said he never left. Maynard's disbelief faltered. The Harlequin was more than a story. Chapter 5. Unraveling Darkness. Sheriff Maynard couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The town whispered, the red balloons became a symbol of fear, and the once forgotten carnival loomed over everyone's nightmares. Determined to end the fear, Maynard and Evelyn decided to enter the carnival grounds one final time, armed with flashlights, a camera, and an old journal detailing the troupe's history. "We have to find the truth," Evelyn whispered, clutching the journal. "Maybe there's a way to end this." As they ventured deeper into the decaying carnival, the darkness seemed almost alive, pressing against them, and that familiar, twisted giggle echoed once more. But this time, Maynard was ready. He snapped a picture, and in the flash, they saw it, the Harlequin, looming just out of reach, his cracked smile growing wider. Chapter 6. A Desperate Search. Evelyn's hands shook as she flipped through the journal. It says here the Harlequin was a cursed figure, trapped by his own wickedness. But he could be banished, if we could find his true mask, the one he wore when he performed his final act. "And where is it?" Maynard demanded, but Evelyn only shook her head. "Lost somewhere in this place." Panic clawed at them as the darkness twisted and whispered. A balloon drifted past them, and the laughter grew louder. They ran, desperate, until they stumbled into a forgotten dressing room. There, beneath dust-covered costumes, they found it, a cracked, porcelain mask, grinning with a painted, twisted smile. Chapter 7. Confronting the Harlequin. Armed with the mask, Maynard and Evelyn made their way to the main tent, the laughter growing more frantic, more desperate. The Harlequin appeared, his twisted form emerging from the shadows. "It's over," Maynard shouted, holding up the mask. But the Harlequin lunged, his painted smile stretching unnaturally wide. Evelyn screamed as the shadows closed in. But Maynard threw the mask to the ground, shattering it. A wail echoed through the air, and the harlequin's form began to crack, his laughter distorting, his body twisting and crumbling to ash. Chapter 8. The Carnival's End. The darkness lifted, the wind stilled. The decaying carnival stood silent, empty. Maynard and Evelyn stumbled out, the pale dawn light breaking the night's terror. For the first time in years, there were no red balloons. The town breathed easier. The legend of the harlequin began to fade. But for Maynard and Evelyn, the nightmares never truly left. Chapter 9. The Whispering Wind. A year passed. The carnival grounds were cleared, replaced by a park. But on the anniversary of Martha's disappearance, a single red balloon floated through the town. Maynard watched it, dread chilling his bones. Evelyn, now living alone, found a note on her door, written in smeared, red paint, "Laughter never dies." Chapter 10. The cycle begins anew. That night, the town's lights flickered. Red balloons appeared at doorsteps. Laughter echoed from dark alleys. Maynard's phone rang, a static-filled call with faint giggles. Evelyn's lights went out, her mirror fogged with a message, "Did you miss me?" Across town, children vanished, their cries swallowed by the mist. And in the park, beneath the pale moon, the harlequin's shadow twisted, his painted smile brighter, his laughter louder. The nightmare had not ended. It had just begun. Chapter 11. The Whispering Shadows. Sheriff Maynard couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The town whispered, the red balloons became a symbol of fear, and the once forgotten carnival loomed over everyone's nightmares. Determined to end the fear, Maynard and Evelyn decided to enter the carnival grounds one final time, armed with flashlights, a camera, and an old journal detailing the troupe's history. "We have to find the truth," Evelyn whispered, clutching the journal. "Maybe there's a way to end this." As they ventured deeper into the decaying carnival, the darkness seemed almost alive, pressing against them, and that familiar, twisted giggle echoed once more. But this time, Maynard was ready. He snapped a picture, and in the flash, they saw it, the harlequin, looming just out of reach, his cracked smile growing wider. The whispers grew louder, shaping words they couldn't quite understand. The wind clawed at their faces, and shadows seemed to dance along the walls. Maynard's heart raced. "We need to find the mask," he whispered, gripping his flashlight. But the carnival shifted around them, corridors stretched, tents loomed, and that awful laughter never ceased. They stumbled into a forgotten tent, its fabric torn, and in the center stood a cracked porcelain mask, grinning, waiting. Chapter 12. The Harlequin's Game. It says here the harlequin was a cursed figure, trapped by his own wickedness. But he could be banished, if we use his mask in a ritual, Evelyn whispered, her voice trembling. "What ritual?" Maynard demanded, but Evelyn's face paled. "A sacrifice. A life for a life." The shadows closed in, and the laughter grew maddening. A red balloon floated towards them, and they turned to see a twisted figure approaching, the harlequin. His painted smile seemed to grow, cracking the skin beneath. "Run!" Maynard shouted, pulling Evelyn away. But the carnival twisted, paths closed, and they were trapped in a hall of mirrors. Reflections of the harlequin surrounded them, his smile growing in each one. Chapter 13. The Shattered Reflections. Evelyn sobbed as she clutched the mask. "We have to destroy it." "No, we need it for the ritual," Maynard insisted, but the harlequin's laughter rang out, and the mirrors shattered. Glass sliced their skin, and the darkness pressed in. Evelyn raised the mask. "Take it, end this," she screamed, but the harlequin lunged, his hands clawing at her. Maynard tackled him, feeling his icy touch sear his flesh. The mask fell, shattering on the ground. For a moment, the laughter stopped. But the darkness didn't vanish. It grew, swallowing the room, and in that suffocating blackness, Maynard heard Evelyn's screams fading. Chapter 14. The Last Stand. A year later, Maynard was a broken man. But he had a plan. He gathered salt, ancient symbols, candles, an old exorcism ritual. He returned to the carnival grounds, alone. "Come out," he screamed, lighting the candles. "I'm not afraid of you." The wind howled, shadows twisted, and the harlequin emerged, his smile stretching grotesquely. Maynard chanted the words he had learned, the candles flaring with an unnatural light. But the harlequin only laughed. "You cannot end laughter. It is forever." Maynard's voice faltered, and the shadows closed in. His screams joined the chorus of countless others. Final chapter. The eternal laughter. The town awoke to red balloons drifting in the morning mist. The park, once the carnival grounds, was silent, but shadows seemed to twist beneath the trees. Children spoke of a whispering wind, of a smiling man in the mist. And on Evelyn's doorstep, a note appeared, scrawled in smeared, red paint, "Laughter never dies." In the town square, a faint giggle echoed, and a red balloon floated lazily upward, disappearing into the gray sky. The harlequin's laughter would never fade. Summary of the plot of The Harlequin's Laughter. The story begins with a dark legend about a forgotten carnival haunted by the harlequin, a sinister clown with a cracked smile and eerie laughter. Since Martha's disappearance 5 years ago, the carnival has become a source of fear for the townsfolk. Many dare to test their courage, but they always become victims of the carnival's darkness. Sheriff Maynard and historian Evelyn attempt to uncover the mystery. They discover that the harlequin is a cursed being, trapped in the carnival as punishment for his evil deeds. However, their attempt to banish him by destroying his cursed mask only worsens the situation. Evelyn disappears, and Maynard is tormented by guilt and lingering fear. Unable to forget the terror, Maynard returns to the carnival with an exorcism ritual. But the harlequin cannot be defeated. His fear and dark laughter are part of the carnival itself, eternal and indestructible. The story reaches its climax with Maynard's disappearance, and the town is once again engulfed in fear as mysterious red balloons begin to appear, and the faint laughter of the harlequin echoes once more. In conclusion, the story portrays a tale of everlasting horror, where evil is not just a physical entity but a concept, fear itself, always present, always waiting. The harlequin symbolizes a terror that cannot be banished because it is the embodiment of the darkness hidden in the human heart.